This is West Michigan's Morning News. Steve Kelly, Brett McKeeter, Rick Albin, Lauren Smith, millions of Americans kick up a little over-the-counter help this time of year, or more so with an allergist. It's becoming allergy season. To help cope with this year's batch, Doctor of Internal Medicine, Dr. Al Johnson, with us this morning. Good morning, Doctor. Thank you for taking the time.
Good morning. My privilege.
So when do we know, let's start with this, when we've just got your average over-the-mill trouble with allergies and when we've got a serious problem where we should see a specialist?
Well, if normal over-the-counter type medicines is not helping and you're just miserable, if your nose running, headache, congestion, cough, even flare of asthma, then you really need to see a physician. There are some short-term help, and then there's long-term help with allergy testing and immunotherapy, which is allergy shots. The only thing that really builds up your tolerance. You can use some natural things like vitamin C, 3 grams a day, is a natural antihistamine. You can irrigate your nose with saline 2 or 3 times a day, particularly before going to bed, to help wash all that pollen out. So there's some things you can do to help yourself too.
And the kind of the eternal question for those of us who live in Michigan is it allergy? Is it a cold? Because the two mimic each other a little bit. Any way that a layperson can discern that?
Well, sometimes it's difficult, but usually a cold is pretty constant, where an allergy will get worse if you go outside, get exposed to the pollen, and then it calms down when you're inside and closed up in filtered air.
And what of this over-the-counter stuff, do we know what's the most effective? Is it different for most people, or is there some stuff that we should avoid?
No, it's pretty consistent. If it's really true allergy, then the antihistamines help. They have the 1 a day or 2 a day ones like Allegra and Zyrtec and Claritin, or the brand names. They have generics for those. The older ones are chlorotrimazole and Benadryl. They tend to make you more sleepy. Then there's the nasal steroid, which is now you can buy over the counter, which is a spray. And of course, as I talked about, the saline is the most natural type way to do it. We rinse your nose out, keep that pollen out of there, and then use the medication.
When do you recommend patients with kids that have these serious allergic or seasonal reactions to see an allergist?
Well, I think they need to see them as soon as possible so they know exactly what's going on, because allergy can produce asthma and chronic sinusitis and other problems. So it sure makes sense to get evaluated by a physician at least to find out, genetically whether you're predisposed and have high IgEs, which is the genetic marker, one of the markers for allergy. And then you know what you're dealing with. So because allergy can progress into infection if it's there. And if the kid is immune deficient, or if adults are immune deficient, where they have low gamma globulin levels, there's 4 kinds of gamma. There's type 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you could be deficient and then prone to frequent infections. And if you are, be sure to ask to have that test run.
Dr. Al Johnson,
there's something you can do about it.
Is a doctor of internal medicine. Thanks so much for your time this morning.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a healthy day.
Wood Radio News Time is 8:11. Let's get right to traffic and weather. Kevin Richards, what's up?
Freeway crash, Wyoming, Steve. Northbound 131 at 36th Street. Doug called and said right lane blocked. Lots of emergency units. It's backed up solid to 44th. We missed the tail end of the 8 o'clock surge, so 8 o'clockers got past there okay. Just got a report of another freeway crash. Rockford, southbound 131 near 10 Mile Road. 2 cars on the shoulder. Traffic volume there has dropped, so we're not seeing a backup there, but at least one strobe is on the way. Kent Deputy, maybe some others going. And south of Lowell, crash, Alden, Nash Avenue, and 36th Street between Lowell and the freeway. Tim said pickup truck hit a pole on the northeast corner. Responders reported it snapped off, so we're going to see some lanes blocked for repair later this morning. Looks like medical's clearing. Nobody got hurt in this one, but you'll still see the strobes there till the tow truck clears. 24-hour wood traffic tip line, 776-5480. This report a service of Staples.
No matter who you voted for, it's likely you'll be watching the first 100 days of the Trump administration more closely. We'll be watching too, providing accurate, objective coverage and analysis. News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.